Okay, if you're ready now, just settle back into that comfortable position and gently allow those eyes to close. As you do, take a deep breath in and hold it. Now, let that out slowly and evenly. Now take another deep breath in and let that out slowly, all the way out. Very good. Now one more deep breath in and hold it. And let it out slowly and evenly, all the way out. Very good. Now I'd like you to listen to the sounds that you hear, inside and outside. Just kind of separating one sound from another. Just noticing how each sound can have its own space or location. And notice how each sound can have its own soothing quality, one that serves to relax you even more. Very good. You may even notice some sounds that you didn't notice before you began to pay attention here. Now I'd like you to return to that breathing. No need to change your breathing. Just notice how good it feels to draw in a breath. And notice how good it feels to let that breath go. And some people can even see their breath in their mind's eye, like a mist or a vapor, coming in and going out. It's like you can see yourself breathing in comfort and breathing out any tension or stress. And every in-breath can have its own soothing color, while every breath out can have another color, one that represents the release of any tension or stress. So you can see yourself breathing in comfort and breathing out any tension or stress. Very good. And I don't know which hand feels more relaxed than the other, but I do know that you can focus on the feelings in each of those hands. Just noticing how on the inside, underneath the skin, one of those hands feels different than the other. Now, I can't know if it's a tingling or a warmth or some other feeling, but I do know that you have a way to tell which hand is which, simply by the feeling in that hand. And you can even tell the exact location and position of each of those hands, even with those eyes closed. That's right. And even those feet way down there also have their own signature sensation. One foot feeling somehow different than the other, more relaxed or more at ease than the other. And it can be very interesting to notice that you can tell the exact location of each one of those 10 toes way down there. That's right. So take a moment now to scan your entire body, noticing how each part feels different than its counterpart. And as you do, take special care to notice what happens when you pay attention to all the various parts of you. That's right. Don't they just relax even more when you simply pay them some attention? Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to imagine certain things, but it doesn't really matter if you find you can't imagine all the things I'm asking you to. You might even find your mind wandering quite a bit, so that my voice just fades into the background. But even that doesn't matter. And listening to the sound of my voice can continue to relax you even deeper. And it really doesn't matter if you don't hear a word I say, because very soon now you're going to be more relaxed than you have ever known. So now, just imagine that you are standing on the top of a beautiful green grassy hill underneath a deep blue sky with white puffy clouds on a beautiful tropical island. That's right, surrounded by a turquoise and blue ocean. You can feel the warmth of the sun on your head and shoulders, and you can see the long grasses around you moving slightly in the gentlest of breezes. And as you look down the hill, you can see a narrow, winding path that disappears into a small forest. And beyond the forest, you can see that ocean with sunlight from the clearest blue skies glancing off the tops of the waves in the bay, so that the whole ocean seems to shimmer and sparkle. That's right. Now, you begin to move lazily and easily down that path, with the ferns and the grasses brushing gently against your legs as you pass. And as you do, you just catch the faint smell of salt borne on the breeze. And you can become aware of the distant sound of the ocean on that shore. Maybe you can even hear the seabirds calling faintly from a long way off, as you marvel at the deep sense of calmness and tranquility that sweeps over you now. And continuing to move on down the path toward the forest, moving so easily, so effortlessly. You may even feel as though you were floating on air. And in no time at all, you find yourself drifting through the trees, their leaves closing overhead to form a canopy above you, and their branches making an irregular pattern against that clear blue sky. It's so pleasantly cool here in the forest, and the gentle sounds of birds singing, echoing faintly, and the scent of trees and undergrowth relaxes you still further as you move easily into the inviting depths of the forest. That's it. Becoming lazier and lazier with each step you take. And you can hear a stream somewhere up ahead. Its gurgling sound gradually mingling with the sound of the ocean. As you follow that winding path further down toward the beach that you know is out there in front of you, weaving through the trees and brushing aside the occasional piece of foliage, until quite suddenly you feel the warmth of the sun on your head and shoulders again, and you find yourself on a beautiful deserted beach, a beautiful golden shoreline sweeping away in a gentle curve out there in front of you, off to a distant point where the trees seem to come right down to the shoreline, so that their branches actually seem to overhang the ocean itself. And you can feel the sand warm beneath your toes as you stroll lazily along the broad beach down to the water's edge. And the sand becomes a darker golden color when you get there. And you can enjoy the change to a moist, firm coolness beneath those feet as you wander along the shore, leaving a lazy trail of footprints in the sand behind you. And every so often, a larger than usual wave sends rivulets of water foaming around your feet. And as they recede, you notice how the sand is washed away from tiny colored pebbles, glinting like jewels in the sun. The smell of the ocean, the sunlight on the waves, the sound of the water hissing over the sand. All of these things seem to create a sense of timelessness for some unknown reason. And you find yourself a comfortable position, a grassy hollow maybe, just to sit and gaze out across the rolling depths to the horizon. Trickling warm golden sand idly through those fingertips. There's a faint haze which makes it difficult for you to see exactly where the sky stops and the ocean starts. And as you try to fathom it out, you can see a small white cloud appearing from somewhere near the horizon. And it comes toward the island quite quickly, growing larger as it approaches. A white puffy cloud floating toward you until it's immediately overhead. The largest, fluffiest, whitest cloud you can ever imagine. And you somehow know, just by instinct, that you can let all your worries, all your cares, all your fears just drift up toward this large white cloud. As you do, you can actually see them drifting away from you in a long, slow spiral. Perhaps like smoke from a bonfire, just spiraling away toward this white, puffy cloud overhead. And the cloud absorbs all those worries into itself, swallowing up all the fears, all the anxieties, and becoming steadily darker all of the time, until just as it reaches its darkest, just as the last part of that spiral of your worries and cares disappears inside it, the sun suddenly bursts through, dispelling every one of those worries, every one of those fears and anxieties, disappearing to the edges of the universe, and leaving you totally relaxed, perfectly at ease with yourself, without a single care in the world. That's right. Very good. Now, in a moment, I will begin counting up from 5 to 1. As I do, you can begin drifting up one number at a time. 5, coming up. 4, further up. 3, halfway up. And 2, 1, all the way up. Very good.